What's up, guys? This is Kephas. Welcome back to WoW Classic, everyone. As you can see, we are now in Duskwood. I have a hood on. I have a much more powerful wand. I got a couple more extra spells. And even when I finished up Red Ridge, I got a ton more experience. I actually had one more quest that I finished, but I wanted to get out of Red Ridge so you guys wouldn't have to, see more of that. And I got a bronze tube to turn into this fellow right here. We can start our adventures here with a decent, actually quite a bit of experience. Let's see, locate Mary and persuade her to give up reflection. Okay. Yeah, look at that, 53%. So that was like 6% of our level. That's awesome. Now, this is Duskwood. Duskwood is supposed to be a scary zone. And it is, actually, because of one main thing. And that thing is Stitches. So Stitches is a NPC, a very strong and threatening NPC that kind of wanders the road between Darkshire, yes, that's it, and Stranglethorn Vale. So he kind of I guess it's not along this road down here, and he could show up at any time. I've actually had him show up on me while I was walking along that road a couple of times. He's killed me at least once, scared the hell out of me every time. So I get nervous being here and I try to stay away from the road, but the problem, of course, is if you don't stay on the road, then you attract the enemies who will try to kill you. There are spiders, there are skeletons, there are wolves, there are worgen, there are all kinds of baddies all over the place here. But the good news, though, is that we need to kill a bunch of them. So as long as I don't pull too many, we should be good to go. Now, these are not... Well, where is my Voidwalker going there? You okay, bruh? You get scared? I didn't use fear on you. What are you doing? Okay, yeah, but so there are lots of bad guys, lots of enemies. Oh, we also, apparently I pulled another one there, or my Voidwalker did. So good job there, buddy. So we have lots of enemies to kill. We need to kill spiders, we need to kill skeletons, we need to kill zombies, we need to kill wolves, and pretty much everything else that is here. Worgen eventually, if we can level up. Now, the thing is, I already have, I've picked up every quest in Darkshire, and, a lot of them we can do. There are some that we unfortunately can't do because they're a little bit higher. I also have, the quest to start the Legend of Stalvin. I think it's what it's called. I haven't decided yet if I want to do that. Might be fun, but it's also, not exactly efficient in terms of leveling. Already it wants me to go to Moonbrook, which is in Westfall, and I'm like, but why, bruh? That's out of the way. Wait a minute. Yeah, attack that one. Jeez, I'm trying to tab target here, and sometimes it doesn't work in my favor. But the cool thing is about these guys, so far, they're not... I mean, these are pretty easy. My Voidwalker needs some health. He's getting hurt pretty quick. Oh, is he running? Where's he going? He keeps running to other enemies, and I don't know what's causing him to do that. It's weird. I don't think I put him on aggressive. I need to try to heal him. Where is he going? Is he getting... Do they fear? Maybe that's what it is. I don't even know what's going on, but... Okay, just trying my best not to die. Only finish him off. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So, that's not good. We need to not do that. We need to get 10 skeleton fingers. As you can see, I've killed several skeletons already, and I haven't gotten a single finger. So, which again, I mean... This one actually makes sense because, sometimes you'll be like, I'm killing these murlocs. They all have fins, and yet none of them's giving me their fins. It's weird. But at least in this case, it makes sense because maybe the skeletons are missing fingers. But then again, he's holding a weapon there, so I can clearly see that he has fingers. So why am I not getting his skeleton fingers? It's a good question, isn't it? It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, these guys must have... Oh gosh. Hey, thanks. Okay. It's just... Alright. We're good. Having a Voidwalker helps. Also, I think... Can you scare a skeleton? Can I use fear on these guys? I don't want to... Yeah, okay, so that's annoying. That's, I didn't know they could do that. Apparently they have an ability that fears you. So, that could be a problem if I'm not on top of things. Okay, we finally got our first skeleton finger. Good for us. Whoop, I didn't mean to use that. Okay, there we go. Woodwalker needs health, so we're going to health funnel him for a minute. And I have potions I can use. I actually have a lot of worthless potions and bandages that probably won't be, well, that's helping a little bit. Cool. Okay, we're good. The warlocks have a lot of cool like passive healing, like a lot of sustain, like passive healing, passive mana regeneration. If you have enough spirit, man, like it's actually pretty awesome. Like, cause like demon armor gives me a ton of health regen and armor, so it's actually a really nice ability to have. Retrieve blind Marys. Hey, I resent that. Looking at glass from the insane ghoul. And okay, sorry if I got like really close to the microphone. I'm trying to read things. And I am I'm not blind Mary, but I am somewhat blind. Okay, that's right down there. We might as well go on down there and do that. I get a little nervous going down to that place though, because it looks like there might be enemies all over the place. So I gotta be careful, and that ghoul can be tough. Now, it's kind of nice that I'm not competing with a lot of people. I'm actually surprised, because usually there are a lot of people here, but, I mean, there's so much that you can do in Duskwood. The cool thing about Duskwood is, like, oh, it feared me again. This is one of those zones that you can kind of grind. There's tons of enemy options, like, especially if you're a paladin. This is a great zone to level up in, because you can use execute on most of the enemies here, which just adds an extra ability that you get to use, which allows you to kill things a little bit quicker. Not to mention, you know, the towns nearby. So, like, I mean, it's not a humongous zone. It's not inconvenient to get places. It's relatively flat. There's a clear road. It's also like if you're a skinner, then there are plenty of wolves for you to skin. So overall, it's a pretty decent zone to level in. I recommend it for sure if you're in Alliance. Of course, the problem is when you have these decent zones to level in, everybody's leveling in them. So that's where the challenge comes in. Also, I forgot to mention, I made a crap ton of gold. If you haven't noticed, I had like 4 gold on the last episode. And for whatever reason, copper ore is going for like 25 silver a piece on my server right now. It's mental. So I was literally like, I don't know what it is, but I was literally just like running through Red Ridge. I mined a couple ore, like literally I had gotten 2 from one node, and some guy walked up to me and was like, hey, I'll buy your ore. And I'm like, I only have 2. He gave me a gold for 2 ore. I was like, seriously? Are you sure? He's like, take it. I'm like, okay, thanks, man. All right, I guess. So, for whatever reason, copper ore, I don't know what's going on with the economy on my server. I don't know if it's every server, but my server, the economy is madness. And I made, like, over 20 gold, which is pretty crazy when you're, like, I mean, 20 gold in this game is nuts. So, I was pretty excited about it. And it just, like, you know, for all I know, I mean, hopefully I'll have enough money that I can get mount right away. I mean, I get to do a quest. I don't know how hard the quest is to unlock your warlock mount and everything, but I'll try to do it as soon as I can, provided I can get the gold together to unlock mount riding, or however much that costs. I'm not sure how much that even costs, but I haven't even done the succubus quest yet, because really, like, I mean, the one thing that, like, in my guides, I kind of explain, you know, at level 20, you can learn how to, like, tame a succubus, or not tame, but summon a succubus. At level 30, I'll be able to learn how to I keep saying tame, but summon a fell hunter, which is a cool looking pet, but I mean, you want to use your Voidwalker. That's the best pet to use when you're leveling up. So, like, it's not really worth, unfortunately, it's like, you can go do those class quests, but it's not really worth it. And it's one of the things, like, I can say, like, looking back at Classic, like, I've always said, like, I miss class quests. I think class quests are really cool. But to be efficient, depending on what the class quests require of you, like, unfortunately, like, as cool as they are, with the exception of, like, the shaman ones and the druid ones are awesome, because you want to do those. They're worth doing. They're, like, it's worth the effort. It's worth the time investment because of what they unlock, and unlock a major part of your class, right? And, of course, learning the Voidwalker and the Imp were definitely cool. But, like, a lot of class quests I tend to skip. Like, I don't do any of the Paladin ones. I don't do any of the Priest ones. Like, at least not right away. Like, eventually I'll get around to them, but they're not, like, I don't have to do them right away. Because I don't feel like they enhance my leveling speed. And so, like, you might as well just go and do them when you can just do them when it's easy and get it whatever. You know, it's not a big deal. Which is, you know, it's kind of like, I like having class quests to unlock abilities, to unlock big parts of your class. Like, oh, the hunter ones were the best ones. Like, learning how to tame a pet, like, that was amazing. Unfortunately, like, like, you know, those don't really exist in modern WoW, and they, like, I think a lot of times, like, they were just kind of scrapped because of, like, they weren't, I mean, but this game came out in 2004, so it's like, cut them some slack, but they could have been implemented better. But I hate that, like, they're because of how they were, because of, like, the direction the game went, they were like, let's just scrap the idea entirely. It's like, no, it was a good idea. Trust me. It's like, class quests are awesome. Unlocking things in the game, like, is awesome. I was just talking about that in retail, how much I, like, in the retail leveling series, how much I like to unlock different parts of the game. Like, I mean, in Final Fantasy 14, you unlock every ability through doing a quest for every class. That you have class quests. It's a part of the game. You, at a certain level, you can go visit a member of your class guild or whatever, and you'll learn how to use a new ability. You'll go through this, like, quest line, and it's really awesome. You know, like, class quests are really cool if they're implemented properly. And I think that a lot of them in Classic are good. Like I said, the Hunter ones are probably some of the most memorable class quests, or just, like, in general. Like, I remember everything about being a dwarf hunter my first time and talking to the class trainer to learn how to tame, like, a pet. Like, I remember doing it. And I remember it to this day, and doing it on my orc hunter, and probably going to be doing it on a second hunter, because hunters are just that much fun to level up. And I'm crazy and I like leveling up characters. Like, it's still fun to do. Like, it's just cool to do these quests. Like, oh, dude, cool, I get to go do this other thing off the beaten path. Or, like, because, you know, you're questing in a zone, and then you, like, get this, like, you find out there's a cool quest to do for your class trainer. Like, the cool thing about Final Fantasy is, like, it's a little bit more modern, so, like, you don't miss things. You know, it'll be like, yo, go to your class trainer, or go to your class person, there's a quest to do. So you don't, like, miss it. Like, a lot of times in Classic, I'll miss things because I just didn't know to look. Like, it's like, the game kind of, like, I'm really not like, the way the game's designed, I'm not supposed to be here as a gnome. I'm supposed to be in Ironforge territory. I'm supposed to be in Dwarven territory, going up through Lochmadon and then Wetlands. But unfortunately, those zones kind of suck. Like, not entirely. Wetlands ain't so bad, but this is way better, like, you know, in my opinion. And, like, that's why everybody comes here. So I don't get, like, a lot of my class quests only show up in Ironforge, I guess. From what I understand, I think that's how it works. So a lot of times, like, you'll miss out on, like, your class quest because you're just trying to explore the world and, you know, quest and do everything, and you just miss it, unfortunately. So, like, you kind of need a guide. But again, like, that's just because the game's, you know, it's older, and you know, they were trying to get you to discover things, and it's just like a lot's been learned since then. So, like, you know, point being, like, just there's so much about Classic, man, that, like, is so awesome still. Like, there's so much about this game that, you know, is really good and really fun. And even, like, this, like, the way I'm having to do this, you know, like just discovering the quest location, which I have an add-on to help me, but, you know, just, like, going to the area, planning out my route, because, like, you know, in retail, the route's planned out for you. You follow a strict quest line. Here, I can go do, like, 10 different things. I can fight these skeletons. I can go up and fight spiders. I can go over and try to, like, run away from stitches and try to get to the graveyard and see what's going on over there. Like, there's tons to do just in this one zone. And, you know, it's older, obviously. It's aged. It's dated a little bit. You know, just speaking of older things, I have this. Don't even know why. It increases my strength. I should have given that to my Voidwalker, but whatever. I can use more strength. It makes me cast my spells stronger. I don't know. But, like, just there's some level of freedom that comes with how this is designed. Like, it doesn't tell the story as well, but, like, you know, the zone story or whatever, but it's just, I really appreciate the freedom of how this is. You know, like, there's just a lot that I appreciate about this version of the game. So, like, I've been playing, I mean, you know, this whole, like, you know, situation, this pandemic situation is crazy, and everybody's, like, a lot of people in my family are home, you know, and so, like, we're home a lot. My wife's working from home, and, like, I've been playing, like, 3 MMOs all at once, on top of playing Overwatch with her every single night, which has been great. But I've been playing this, I've been playing retail, and I consider them 2 completely different MMOs. Like, it's hard to play both, because if you play retail and you try to play classic at the same time, it's a lot. And then, like, on top of that, I've been playing Final Fantasy 14, and it's fun to kind of compare them all, you know, like compare, which really I kind of compare each to WoW retail is what it is. Because, like, you know, classic, there's a lot of, like, I guess, like, maybe it's not fair because I excuse a lot of classics flaws for the time that it was made. Which I don't really excuse a lot of flaws for, you know, retail or, you know, Final Fantasy, which, you know, like, a lot of times it's not so much a flaw as it's a preference. And that's something important to kind of, like, understand the difference. Like, there's a difference between a game's actual flaw, you know, and a preference. You know, like, you may not like, say, in Final Fantasy 14, where the game forces you to do dungeons, you know, because it's part of the main story quest. You actually have to complete dungeons to progress in the game and complete the story. And if you had a dungeon system like Classic in a game that did that, it wouldn't work. So Final Fantasy 14 having a dungeon finder like WoW's is not as bad because, you know, you have to complete dungeons, so it wouldn't be very efficient to try to, I mean, you're trying to complete dungeons and you have to find a party, you know, that would suck. That would really slow things down. So having a dungeon finder in that game, you know, it makes a lot of sense. And, like, it's I guess it's like a necessary evil because it's, you know, it's like, I always think it's always best to have a game where it's encouraging you to, you know, build a community, build friends, you know, have a social network, have accountability, all of those things. I think it makes for a better game. But there are a lot of people that play these games that aren't social people. So I guess it's not that way for everybody. And I guess I understand and respect that to a degree. You know, but it's just kind of funny how certain things about a game can change my attitude. Cause like I use Duty Finder. It's called Duty Finder in Final Fantasy, but I use the Dungeon Finder in that game all the time. Even though I'm a person that has like railed against Dungeon Finder for years. And honestly, I don't run dungeons in Classic. I mean, I've done it once actually. I was in a guild for a hot second before I took a bit of a break on the character that I was playing in, and we ran stockades, and it was really fun, but like it wasn't, I mean, I didn't feel like it was any more efficient than just leveling and questing. I mean, maybe I wasn't at the right dungeon for the level I was at, I don't know, but I just was like, you know, these dungeons, like, it just depends. Like, if you're really good and you have a solid team, you can fly through these dungeons, I'm sure. And by fly, I mean you can do them within like maybe a half hour or maybe longer, depending on the dungeon. And it might be decent XP. You might get some gear, maybe some things to sell. I don't know. But a lot of times you're in a group of people that where mistakes are gonna be made. You're gonna wipe. There's not enough communication or something like that, and then you got to run all the way back. And at that point, if that's happening a lot, it's not really efficient, you know, to wait to find a group and then group up and then not die. And if you die a lot, it's definitely not going to be efficient. But like, for all that effort, it's just easier to grind your way to the max level. Whereas in retail, like I mean, when it's like lower level stuff, especially like just popping in to a queue and doing it, like you level up and then you queue up for the dungeon and then you go do the dungeon in the southern the Southern Ogre Mountain. We can't do that one yet, I don't think, you know. So like you can just pop in and do your quest and do your dungeon and be done within 20 minutes and you're good. That convenience does make dungeons more appealing when you're leveling, for sure. So like there is like, unfortunately, it's really complicated because on one hand, you know, you're trying your best to be as efficient as possible, and people will, you know, optimize. As someone, I think there's a video about this. Gamers have a tendency to optimize the fun out of a game. We're really guilty of that. We're always looking for the optimal way to do things. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, let me know by clicking that like button, and feel free to share it with your friends so they can enjoy it as well. Don't forget, you can subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon to be notified as soon as new videos are posted. You can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and if you'd like, you can support this channel on Patreon. Links to all of this can be found in the description below. This is Kephas. Until next time.